Have you ever wondered why the ones with the purest hearts often walk the loneliest roads? Why the strongest souls are always the ones who've been broken the most? It seems unfair, doesn't it? You give, you love, you try to do what's right, yet life keeps knocking you down. You watch others move through life easily while you struggle with battles no one else seems to face. But what if I told you this isn't a curse? What if I told you it's a sign of something greater? Think about it. Have you ever felt like you don't fit in? Like you see the world differently? Like you carry a weight no one else understands? Maybe you've been betrayed, abandoned, or left wondering why people walk away from you. Maybe life has tested you more than others, and no matter how much you try, the road ahead always seems harder. But here's the truth. Those who are set apart will never blend in. God doesn't choose just anyone for a higher purpose. He calls those who are strong enough to endure the pain that comes with it. The ones who can handle the isolation, the struggles, the rejection, because they are meant for something more. Your loneliness, your heartbreak, your struggles, they're not punishments. They are preparation. So don't let the pain fool you into thinking you're forgotten. The enemy doesn't attack those who are weak. He attacks those who are a threat. And if you've been facing battle after battle, maybe it's because you're closer to something powerful than you realize. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you'll understand exactly why the chosen ones are lonely, why they feel broken, and most importantly, what it all truly means. The chosen ones are not just ordinary people. They are the ones who carry something different within them. Deep wisdom, unshakable faith, and a purpose that stretches far beyond the ordinary. These are the people who see life differently, who feel things on a deeper level, who carry a light that others don't always understand. But with this calling comes a heavy cost. They often walk a path that feels isolating, painful, and full of struggles that most people never have to face. If you've ever felt like you don't belong, like no one truly understands you, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because you were never meant to fit in with the crowd. The chosen ones are set apart, and that separation is not always easy. They often experience deep loneliness, rejection, and hardships that make them question their own strength. It seems like life tests them over and over again, pushing them to their limits. But this is not by accident, it's by design. Throughout history, God has chosen people for great purposes, and almost every single one of them had to endure suffering before stepping into their calling. Look at Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, but before he could reach his destiny, he was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and later imprisoned for something he didn't even do. For years he was forgotten, abandoned, and faced nothing but hardship. But in the end, God raised him up to a position of power where he was able to save countless lives, including those who had betrayed him. His suffering was not a punishment, it was preparation. Then there's David, a simple shepherd boy, overlooked and underestimated by everyone around him. Even his own family didn't see his potential, but God did. And before David could become king, he had to endure years of running for his life, hiding in caves, being hunted down by those who saw him as a threat. He had to fight battles that seemed impossible, and yet he was victorious because God was with him. His struggles were shaping him into the leader he was destined to be. And who can forget Job, a man who was righteous, faithful, and blessed until everything was taken from him. He lost his wealth, his health, his family, everything he held dear. His suffering was so great that even his closest friends told him to give up, to turn away from God. But he didn't. He remained faithful even when he didn't understand why he was being tested. And in the end, God restored everything Job had lost, giving him even more than he had before. What do all these stories have in common? Pain, isolation, betrayal, hardship, but also purpose. Every chosen one had to endure the fire before stepping into their destiny. And if you are going through battles that seem unbearable, if you feel like life keeps knocking you down, It might just be because you are one of them. The enemy doesn't waste time attacking those who have no purpose. He goes after the ones who do, the ones who are a threat to his plans. So if you feel different, if you feel broken, if you feel like you don't belong, know this. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not suffering for no reason. You are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. The world may not understand you, but that's because you were never meant to be like the world. You were meant for something higher. God sets the chosen ones apart for a reason. When you feel lonely, when you feel broken, when it seems like life is constantly testing you, it's easy to wonder why. Why do things seem harder for you than for others? Why do people walk away when all you ever did was care? Why does it feel like every step forward comes with another setback? But what if the pain you're going through isn't meant to break you, but to prepare you? The world rejects what it cannot understand. When you carry something different inside you, people sense it. They may not be able to explain it, but they feel it. And often, that difference makes them uncomfortable. Chosen ones don't think the way others do. They don't follow the crowd. They don't live for meaningless things, and they see the truth even when others choose to ignore it. That's why they face rejection. That's why they feel isolated. Because they were never meant to blend in. Pain is preparation. Every struggle you've faced, every betrayal, every hardship, it's all been shaping you. Look at the way fire purifies gold. The heat removes the impurities, making it stronger and more valuable. That's exactly what happens to those who are called for something greater. They are tested, refined, and molded into something unshakable. Without these trials, they wouldn't have the strength, the wisdom, or the faith needed to fulfill their purpose. Faith is tested through hardship. It's easy to trust God when life is good, when everything is falling into place. But true faith is built in the moments of struggle, in the moments when you don't understand why things are happening the way they are. It's in those moments that you have a choice. Do you give up? Or do you trust that God is still in control? The chosen ones are given battles that force them to rely on God completely because their calling is too big for them to handle alone. Think about it. If God is preparing you for something great, wouldn't he need to make sure you're ready? Wouldn't he have to take you through challenges that test your strength, your patience, your faith? When you pray for wisdom, God doesn't just hand it to you. He allows you to go through experiences that teach you wisdom. When you ask for strength, he puts you in situations that require you to be strong. Every challenge is not a punishment, it's a lesson. Even Jesus himself was rejected. He was misunderstood, criticized, hated by those who didn't want to hear the truth. If the Son of God faced that kind of resistance, why would it be any different for those who follow him? The world will always resist what it cannot control. And the chosen ones cannot be controlled because their purpose is not from this world, it is from God. So when you feel lonely, when you feel broken, remind yourself of this. You are being set apart, not forgotten. You are being prepared, not abandoned. The road may be difficult, but it is leading you somewhere greater than you can imagine. God is not punishing you, he is shaping you. And one day you will look back and realize that every struggle, every tear, every moment of doubt was part of his perfect plan to bring you into your purpose. The world has a way of trying to break those who are chosen. The moment you step into your purpose, the moment you start to see the truth and live differently, resistance comes. It may come through people, circumstances, or even the thoughts in your own mind. But make no mistake, the battles you face are not random. They are designed to stop you from becoming who you are meant to be. There is a reason why chosen ones often face the hardest struggles. It's because they are a threat. The enemy does not attack those who are already lost. He attacks those who have a purpose, those who have the potential to bring light into a dark world. If you have ever felt like everything in your life is working against you, it may be because you are closer to something powerful than you realize. Rejection is one of the biggest weapons used against chosen ones. From an early age, they often feel different, as if they don't quite belong. They think deeply, feel deeply, and see things that others don't. This makes them stand out, and the world does not always welcome those who are different. Instead of being celebrated for their wisdom, they are often pushed away, misunderstood, or even mocked. People may turn against them, not because they have done anything wrong, but because their very presence challenges the way others see themselves. Even Jesus was rejected. He performed miracles, healed the sick, and spoke truth, yet he was hated by many. His words made people uncomfortable. His presence exposed the darkness in their hearts. Instead of changing, they chose to push him away. If the Son of God himself was not accepted by everyone, then those who follow him should not expect an easy road. The loneliness, the rejection, the struggles, they are not the end of your story. They are the very things shaping you into who you are meant to be. The world may not recognize your value, people may walk away, and life may test you in ways that feel unbearable. But none of it is happening by accident. It all has a purpose. And that purpose is far greater than the pain you are feeling now. Think about everything you have been through, every time you felt like giving up, every tear you cried in silence, every moment when you wondered why life seemed so much harder for you than for others. But despite it all, you are still here. You are still standing. That alone is proof that you are stronger than you think. The enemy wanted to break you, but he couldn't. The world wanted to silence you, but you're still speaking. Every challenge you faced was meant to stop you from realizing who you truly are. A chosen one, someone with a calling bigger than you can imagine. But being chosen comes with responsibility. It means you cannot live like everyone else. It means you will be misunderstood because the wisdom you carry is not common. It means you will have to walk alone at times because not everyone is meant to go where you are going. And it means you will have to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's easy to feel bitter when life is hard. It's easy to wonder why others seem to have it easier, why people who don't even try seem to get everything handed to them. But you were never meant to walk the easy road. The strongest warriors are given the hardest battles, not because they are being punished, but because they are capable of overcoming them. You are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something far greater than you can see right now. And when the time is right, everything you have been through will make sense. You may not see it now, but your story is going to inspire someone else. Your pain, your struggles, your battles, one day, they will become someone else's survival guide. The very things that tried to break you will be the things that give others hope. And when that moment comes, you will understand why you had to go through what you did. So don't give up. Don't let the loneliness convince you that you are forgotten. Don't let the pain make you believe that your story is over. You have come too far to stop now. Everything you have been through is leading you somewhere. Keep going, even when it's hard. Keep believing, even when you don't understand. Because one day you will look back and realize that every trial, every hardship, and every tear was part of God's plan to take you exactly where you were meant to be. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Share your story, your struggles, and your victories. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more messages like this. You are not alone in this journey, and together we will keep moving forward. Life has a way of making the chosen ones feel like they are always walking alone. The path is not easy, and sometimes it feels like no one truly understands the weight you carry. The struggles, the rejection, the loneliness, it can all seem unfair. But what if everything you have been through is not meant to break you, but to prepare you? What if your pain is not a curse, but a sign that you are being shaped for something far greater? The truth is, you were never meant to be like everyone else. That's why you don't fit in. That's why you see the world differently. While others are distracted by temporary things, You think about the deeper meaning of life. While others chase after what is easy, you are being called to something greater. But with that calling comes a process that will test you, refine you, and prepare you for the purpose that God has placed in you. You may feel like you have lost people along the way. Friends who walked away, family who never truly understood you, people who turned against you for no reason. But what if those losses were necessary? What if God was removing people who could not go where He is taking you? Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some people were only part of the journey to teach you something, to push you closer to your purpose. And as painful as it is, you have to trust that what is meant for you will never leave, and what leaves was never meant to stay. The struggles you face are not punishments. They are proof that you are chosen. The enemy does not waste time attacking people who have no purpose. He goes after the ones who are a threat. He goes after the ones who carry something powerful inside of them. And if you have been facing battle after battle, it's because you are closer to something big. It's because your potential is too great for the enemy to ignore. Think about this. Every great person in history, every leader, every prophet, every person who changed the world had to go through seasons of pain before stepping into their destiny. Look at Joseph, look at David, look at Job. Even Jesus himself was rejected, betrayed, and crucified. But did that stop him? No, because he knew that his suffering had a purpose. And if you are going through suffering right now, it is not without reason. God is not allowing it to destroy you. He is using it to strengthen you. So what should you do? Keep going. Keep believing. Keep trusting that everything you are going through is leading you to something greater. Do not let the pain make you bitter. Do not let the loneliness make you give up. The enemy wants you to believe that you are forgotten, that your struggles are meaningless. But the enemy is a liar. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. And everything you have endured will one day become the testimony that inspires someone else to keep going. One day you will look back and see that everything happened exactly the way it was meant to. You will understand why some people left, why certain doors closed, why life felt so unfair at times. And when that day comes, you will realize that God's plan was always bigger than you imagined. You just had to trust Him through the process. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Share your thoughts, your struggles, your journey. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because this is just the beginning. There is more ahead, and you don't want to miss it. Stay strong, because your story is far from over. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt like life has set you apart? Have you experienced loneliness, rejection, or struggles that made you wonder why your path seems different from everyone else's? You are not alone in this journey, and your story matters. Someone else might be going through the same thing right now, and your words could be the encouragement they need. Let's talk about it below. Let's build a space where we uplift and strengthen each other. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more ahead. More wisdom, more encouragement, and more reminders that you are not forgotten. Life can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to walk this path alone. This is a place where we grow, where we find strength and truth, and where we remind each other that every battle has a purpose. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Every message is designed to help you see your struggles differently, to remind you that your pain is not in vain, and to help you step into the purpose that was meant for you. Stay connected, stay strong, and remember, your story is far from over